Hey everyone. The title of today's message is Rise. The Bible verse is Mark 2:1-5. When Jesus returned to Capernaum after some days, it was reported that he was at home, and many were gathered together so that there was no more room, not even at the door. And he was preaching the word to them, and they came, bringing to him a paralytic carried by 4 men. And when they could not get near him because of the crowd, they removed the roof above him. And when they had made an opening, they let down the bed on which the paralytic lay. And when Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralytic, "Son, your sins are forgiven." What a wild scene. There was such a mob at the house where Jesus was staying that latecomers couldn't get in, let alone be healed. Here was a guy paralyzed and strapped to a stretcher, and the people wouldn't make way. Tough crowd. They didn't even clear a path when they saw men dragging him onto the roof, a task that couldn't have been quick or smooth. When they finally made it up, they began hacking away at the straw and mud. Jump cut to inside the house. People surrounded Jesus while he preached and healed, but they were interrupted by the sounds of footsteps, dragging and digging above them. And then chunks of the roof fell to the floor and probably on the heads of many in the room. But it worked. Jesus was moved by the faith that drove them to such heights, cheesy pun, and he forgave the paralytic. Wait. Thanks, Jesus, but when we decided to scale the walls of this house, we were hoping for a real miracle, something along the lines of rise and walk. At least that's how it usually works. We go to Jesus with our own ideas about what he should do for us, and we're disappointed when he doesn't stick to script. But it's often in the unexpected that Jesus does his best work. Now, some of the scribes were sitting there questioning in their hearts, "Why does this man speak like this? He is blaspheming. Who can forgive sins but God alone?" And immediately Jesus, perceiving in his spirit that they questioned within themselves, said to them, "Why do you question these things in your heart? Which is easier to say to the paralytic, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or to say, 'Rise, take up your bed and walk'? But that you may know the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." He said to the paralytic, "I say to you, rise, pick up your bed, and go home." And he rose immediately, picked up his bed, and went out from then on, so that they were all amazed and glorified God, saying, "We never saw anything like this." Mark 2:6-12. Christ's mission was to save souls, and healing was useful in demonstrating his power to do that. But it wasn't the mission. Healing displayed his compassion, love, and desire to restore, but it paled in comparison to his true purpose, to rescue and raise lost souls. Of course, Jesus was able to discern the genuine faith of the men on the roof, along with the lack of faith of the crowd in the room. He exposed their thoughts, also a miracle, and announced his power to both heal and forgive. Since forgiveness is necessary to have a restored relationship with God, and thus spend eternity with him, Jesus was offering something far better than healing. So for the man who entered the room through the roof, walking was hopefully just the beginning of a lifetime spent following hard after the one who forgave him. So that you may know that I have power to forgive, rise and walk. Of course, he did rise and walk, and this time probably through the front door. Today's prayer focus: thank God for forgiving your sins, and then ask him to give you the same kind of reckless faith and passion as the friends of the paralytic. Questions moving forward. In order to take such extreme measures, what must the 4 men carrying their friend have believed about Jesus? What keeps you from pursuing Jesus with that kind of passion? And if you struggle to value spiritual growth over material, list 3 to 5 reasons spiritual growth matters more. I just want to add to that, what good friends this man had. That's the kind of friends you should be surrounding yourself with. The ones that have so much faith that they're willing to do whatever they can to get you in front of Jesus. And not only that, don't just worry about the friends that you have around you. But you should also be that kind of friend. Are you the kind of friend that when your friends are sick and they're down, that you go to them and you lift them to Jesus, bring them to Jesus? That's what kind of friend that I want to be, and the kind of friend that I want surrounding me. That's all that I have for today. I hope you all have a blessed day, and I will be back on here tomorrow. Thank you.